So in this video, we're going to talk about solving proportions. So we already know that proportions are equal fractions. We know how to look at two fractions and determine if they are a proportion or not using that cross products. So again, the idea being that if I take 2 times 2, it has to equal 1 times 4 in order to be a proper proportion. We're going to keep that in mind here as we're solving. So if I give you a proportion that looks like this, okay? This idea is the same. This is a proportion. We're going to say, yes, it is. I need to find what number here is going to make this equal, is going to make this work. And we're going to use this concept of cross products have to be equal. That means x times 50 has to be equal to 10 times 5. Okay? X times 50 we know is just 50x. 10 times 5 is 50. So now what I've created is a one-step equation that I can solve. I'm going to divide by 50, x equals 1. So in order for this to be a proportion, x does have to be 1. Okay? Now, this works every time. There is a shortcut to doing this. So again, if I want to do this same problem, I'm just going to erase. If you noticed when I solved that, I had 50x equals 10 times 5, and then I divided by 50. So basically, to get the answer, I took 10 times 5 and then divided by 50. So there's a shortcut to doing this called the go fish method, okay, where you kind of draw a fish. So what it means is I'm going to take 10 times 5 and then divide by 50 to get my answer, because that's exactly what I did over here. So a shortcut would be I can take 10 times 5 and then just divide by 50 and still get that answer. We call it go fish. I don't know why, because it kind of looks like a fish there. Make sure that the numbers you multiply are the two numbers across from each other, and you're dividing by the number across from the variable. So here is another example. Okay, that 20. So now the variable's in a different spot. So I could do the setting up an equation where 5 times x has to equal 3 times 20. 5 times x is 5x. 3 times 20 is 60. Divide both sides by 5, and I get that x equals 12. If I wanted to shortcut it and do the go fish method, I need to multiply by the numbers that are across from each other and divide by the one that's a cross product to x. So I'm going to multiply 20 times 3 and then divide by 5, which is also just going to give me 12. So both ways will get me the correct answer. And that's all you have to do to solve a proportion.